Providing services of any kind to an older adult takes a collaborative effort. No social worker, no physician, no nurse can provide full care for an older adult on their own. Hello, everyone. My name is Dawn Hobdy. I'm an adjunct professor at the Howard University School of Social Work. Originally from Bronx, New York. Spent most of my career as running the ethics department for the National Association of Social Workers. But my first love was in gerontology, where I spent 7 years running a nursing home social services department. When we say case managers cannot diagnose, I just want to make sure that there's a distinction. As a case manager who isn't licensed is not able to diagnose. So if a social worker has a clinical license, they are able to diagnose. But for those case managers who aren't able to diagnose, and so just thinking about the question of if a case manager is not able to diagnose a decline or mental illness, what can they do to try to assist an older adult who's experiencing those things? And so what's important in all of the work that we do is collaboration. And so in instances where social workers are not able to actually diagnose, I think it would be really, really important to still hone in on your skills and knowledge. So even though a social worker is not able to diagnose, they're still able to determine whether there's a concern. So if a case manager recognizes or notices a decline or some type of mental illness or any concern, and they're not able to diagnose themselves, then their job is to inform the physician, the nursing staff, whomever is able to make those diagnoses to express that concern. The social workers are the ones who are really working closely with patients most of the time. We interact with them one-on-one a lot. And so we get to see and learn a lot about how they show up each day. And if we see a difference, we should really bring it up. But talk to your physician that's in charge of that client or nurse. But even outside that, it's really important to build a rapport so that when you do notice something, you know the doctor, they know who you are, they trust your feedback. And so building a rapport with those physicians and those who are responsible for making those diagnoses is going to be really important. So just, share what you're observing. You don't have to give the diagnosis to share that. Oh, I noticed they're speaking more slowly or they're being more forgetful. Would you mind taking a look? That kind of thing. What should case managers write down in their notes? Your notes just want to reflect the experience that you have. So again, if you're a social worker or case manager who's not in a position to diagnose, but you want to make sure that you note the things that you're noticing, then you simply write what you're noticing. Make sure your notes are honest, concise, and they stick to the issue at hand. And really, that's it. I observed this concern, again, a slowing down, forgetfulness. I tried to do an assessment with the client. I reached out to the physician. Here's the feedback from the physician. And here are the next steps. Those are the kind of things that you would write in that note. But just, again, acknowledging what you observed and the steps that you have taken to try to address the concern. If you're thinking about several different declines, what can a case manager do to assist? Again, I think it's going back to one, trusting yourself, using your skills and knowledge to make an assessment. And then again, after you've done that, talking to the doctor to share what you're observing and together working to figure out the best care. Providing services of any kind to an older adult takes a collaborative effort. No social worker, no physician, no nurse can provide full care for an older adult on their own. And so this is another situation where it's really a great idea to pull in everyone who's responsible for that care. Sometimes it might just be the physician. Sometimes it might be pulling in the physician, the nurse, the physical therapist, recreation therapist, occupation therapist, dietitian, everyone that's involved in that person's care, including the client themselves, to get a full assessment and to determine the best course of action for that person.